Welcome, and today you are going to be learning how to win your ADHD/hyperactive students. As a first-year teacher, I faced many challenges, and one of the biggest challenges that I thought I faced this year was having a student in my class diagnosed with ADHD. It was the first time being on the job in the classroom with a hyperactive student, and it was very distracting for me because he couldn't keep his hands to himself. He was not focused. He couldn't be seated all throughout the day, and his behavior was conflicting at times. And I felt that the student needed a lot of help as far as setting his boundaries, completing his work, and I worked with my mentor, Mrs. Rodriguez, throughout the year, and she helped me come up with strategies, and some of these strategies I learned at workshops, and I just feel that as first-year teachers, it's important that you have a variety of strategies to use when working with students with ADHD or hyperactive students. One of the first ones that I used was setting a timer at my student's desk. At the beginning, I would set it for 10 minutes, and I would tell him that he needed to complete that assignment for 10 minutes. I would say, as long as this timer is ticking, you need to be doing your work. So he was quietly doing his work, and I told him, you cannot get out of your seat within that time. Once it rings, you're free to get up, and then I would redirect him. However, we would build upon this. So let's say the first week we would start out with 10 minutes. Then the following week I would push him to 12 minutes. I would move my timer to 12 minutes to see if I could push him further and further and further and further. The goal was to have him sit down in his seat for an extended period of time. At a conference I had attended this past year, I saw a teacher that was sitting next to me, and she was playing with these blocks. And I was curious, and I asked her, I said, what are you playing with? And she said, oh, I'm ADHD, and I need something in my hands to help keep me focused. And she goes, as long as I'm playing with these blocks, my eyes are on the speaker, and I've learned to teach myself that, I'm focused on them, but my hands are down here are busy. And I found that interesting, and so I went back to my classroom, and I was like, what could I use? And I had this stress ball that was sitting on top of my desk, and I gave it to my ADHD student. And I told him, I said, okay, the only way you're going to get this stress ball, this toy, is if you are seated and your hands have to be on here, have to be on the stress ball, squeezing it, moving it from hand to hand, but your eyes are on me. Because I had a lot of problems with him hitting, poking other students. He was always wandering about in the room, and it was very hard to teach him throughout the day. So I gave him the stress ball, and I said, okay, this is yours to play with throughout the year while I'm instructing. This is to keep your hands focused on this ball, but your attention is on me. So it worked wonders. He loved the stress ball. He had it in his hands. He moved it, and all throughout the year. He knew if we had a small group time at the math wall, or we had small group time at the word wall, he would take his stress ball with him. Brain research has shown that overstimulated students, they're calmed by soft music in the background. So I would, throughout the day, while the students were working or while they were in groups, I played this Baroque music, as you're going to hear a sample of it. Okay. I regularly use my iPhone, my plan book. I make notations on sticky notes regularly just to remind me to reinforce his positive behavior as much and as often as possible. My student, he loved to be hugged and he loved to be given praise. He loved to be told, "You're doing a good job. Keep at it." I mean, he just loved that reinforcement. I was also able to teach my student that if he felt, overly stimulated, or he, was feeling anxious or not feeling well, or that he was, wanting to, hit another student, poke another student, just cause harm. He learned to get up from his seat and walk over to this alternative seating arrangement and just sit there for a while and just, reflect on what he did, and it allowed him to just calm down for those few minutes. And then he would get up from his seat and then, come and join us in the group once he was ready. A powerful tool that I have used within the classroom was, and in dealing with his behavior, was a behavior management plan. As you can see on the screen, the behavior management plan, I did one of these every week, and he had a folder and I punched holes in them, and on a weekly basis I would fill one of these out, and basically put his name, the start of the week, and I broke up the schedule. In the morning, rutina de la mañana, matemáticas, especiales, ciencias, almuerzo, lectura guiada, lectura, taller de escritura, recreo, despido, and just all of the schedule here. And then I have here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, and viernes. And he could receive a total. He could receive a possible of 10 points, and these could be cashed in at home. If he has 7 points, he could watch the television when he got home. If he got 8 points that day, he could see the television and get on his bike and ride with his friends. And if he reached 9 and 10 points, he could see the television, ride his bike, and use the computer. So these were all things that we had discussed with him. These were all good incentives that he liked to do at home, and that he was able to cash in at home. And his mom every day, or his dad every day, once I tallied the points, they would have to initial by the total points he received. So this was returned every single. Like I said, you will face many throughout your first year of teaching, and your second year, and your third year, and on and on and on throughout your teaching career. But I learned that they don't get easier overnight. It takes time, of course, to work with these challenges and trying different strategies, like I have just shown you here. And also talking with your team, and talking with your mentor, talking with your parents, communicating with your parents. It's very, very important. You need to be in communication with your parents. But use your challenges. I just want to encourage you to use your challenges to help you become stronger and more knowledgeable about your students and what they face. On the screen here, I posted a website that you can use for more helpful information on ADHD students. And this following link is a great article with proven strategies for working with ADHD students. It can be accessed via the classroom management house. Like I mentioned earlier, as a first-year teacher, I faced many challenges, and so will you throughout your first year and your teaching career. But I learned that challenges, they don't get easier overnight. It takes time, and it takes different strategies, like I have just shown you here in working with ADHD and hyperactive students. However, I want to encourage you to use your challenges to help you become stronger and more knowledgeable. For example, like I had mentioned here with working with ADHD slash hyperactive students, because they are important, and you will enjoy working with them as much as they are a challenge. You will enjoy what they bring to your classroom.